please listen carefully.
I'm a didgeridoo, everybody. I woke up this morning, and that was the first thing that I did when I woke up. I just opened my eyes and started going. So I guess I'm a didgeridoo now. It's pretty cool, huh, guys? Didgeridoo David. That's what you can call me, Didgeridoo David. I'm David. Here I am. That's my name. And this is Splendid. This is episode 5. That is half of 10. If I do 2 times more of these things, we'll be at 10 episodes, man. We're doing it. Moving right along. So a bunch of weird stuff going on, a bunch of weird things happening lately. I feel weird. Been feeling not myself. Just weird things occurring. And apparently somebody at work the other day was like, oh, well, Mercury's in retrograde. And I was like, oh, I've heard of that before, but I never really knew anything about it. So I looked it up. And yeah, Mercury's in retrograde right now. It started on July 7th and it goes to the 31st. And apparently during this time, we're like passing Mercury or something. Like Mercury goes around the sun 4 times faster than we do. But there's like a time where the Earth, in relation to Mercury, like our perspective, it looks like Mercury is going backwards. When really it's not going backwards. It's like it's like 2 cars, and say there's a car in front of us, and you go to pass it, and it looks like, from a certain perspective, it looks like that car is going backwards when really you're just speeding past it. That's the analogy they give. So it's not really going backwards, but it looks like it is. So apparently in this retrograde period, which lasts for like 3 weeks, 4 times a year, everything goes fucking haywire and everything's just fucking weird. They say that your appliances and like your electronics and all that shit start going haywire and get all faulty. No joke. I already recorded one of these, and when I was done with it, I got up to turn the camera off, and the camera was not recording. It hadn't recorded. So here I am doing it again, and they warned me, man. All those professionals out there, when I was watching those YouTube videos, those YouTube professionals were warning me. They were like, some shit's gonna go awry. So you better be prepared for it. I was not prepared for it. you're not supposed to make big decisions regarding, like, you're not supposed to like buy a house or buy a car or make a big purchase, I guess, or any big financial decisions. You're not supposed to make any big decisions regarding relationships. You're not supposed to start dating or break up during the retrograde, because no one's thinking clearly, apparently. And I was like, wow, okay, so this makes sense. Maybe why I'm feeling so fucked weird right now. It's all about Mercury. I don't know. I've never been big into astrology or astronomy or anything like that. I'm not big on horoscopes or whatever. But I mean, there has to be something, right? Mercury has to fuck with us in some way because we're all connected to all that stuff out there in space, right? We're all made of space dust. So I mean, it's got to fuck with us somehow. The moon fucks with the tides, and we're all made of the same stuff. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe Mercury's fucking with me. I have a couple other friends too that are feeling all weird, not themselves. Yeah, so I watched a couple YouTube videos about it, and they're saying it's a good time for self reflection and repair, kind of like just kind of take your time, slow everything down, and just kind of go inward and focus on yourself for a couple weeks. Slow everything down. Don't try to rush into everything, or try and finish up projects and or start new projects or big endeavors, or don't do anything too drastic, I guess. They also say to kind of open up a little bit more to others and kind of allow others to flow into you, kind of step into other people's shoes, open up your ears and allow other people to talk to you, kind of observe other people. And then also self-reflection. So if people are willing to, if you have a good friend or girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife, open up to them, spill your guts to them as well. Two-way communication, I guess. Get all that shit out of there. And if you don't have anyone to talk to, journal it up. Write all your thoughts down onto paper, because that shit's good for you. You got all these thoughts up there bouncing around, and they've got nowhere to go. They just kind of bounce and fly, and they go all willy-nilly, and they got nowhere to resolve themselves. So I journal all the time. I feel that getting those thoughts down and putting them onto paper, you can resolve a lot of conflict going on up there. Answer a lot of your own questions. You just kind of write until you can't write anymore, and you'll notice that you're kind of coming to your own conclusions and figuring some stuff out, because they got nowhere to go up here. So put them down onto paper, and then you can go back and read them later and laugh at it. Read all your entries and have a chuckle to yourself. Or learn some profound things. Maybe you say some really smart stuff, and then you look back on it later and learn again from it. So anyway, yeah, this is weird. Apparently, again, I'm no pro on this, but apparently it's moving from, or Mercury is moving backwards from Leo to Cancer. So I'm not really sure how like planets align with certain signs or whatever, but apparently it's moving back from Leo to Cancer. And I'm a Cancer. I'm a crab. I'm a Scotland crab. And so it's going to affect me harder than other people. And boy, I feel it. I'm all over the place. I've been sleeping a lot, which I guess is another thing that happens. You get all tired. uh, One of the ladies I was listening to was like, "You're gonna feel pretty tired, and you know what? Fucking take a nap." And I was like, "Amen, sister. I'll see you later." I just woke up from a nap right before I started recording this. Like I said, I recorded a whole other one of these, and I thought I was all good. Thought I was all good to go, but fucking Mercury decided to shut my camera off, I guess. So I took a nap. And I'm not guilty about it, though I'll probably be up till like fucking 3 in the morning now, and that's okay. Yeah, but weird stuff, weird things going on. I went into my room a couple of hours ago. Just going and walking into my room, and I have this dream journal, right? This one. It's on. I have a bookshelf or this like little mini shelving unit, whatever, next to my bed as my nightstand, and this was on the second shelf, and it usually just sits there like this with the cover. It's closed. I close it. I dream my sweet dreams. I wake up and I write in it, and then I close it up and set it down on this on the shelf. Well, I walk in there a couple hours ago, and the thing was open like this, and there was a pen sitting on it like this, and one word written at the top, scribbled at the top. I wrote Skinwalker. Skinwalker. That's not fucked up scary at all. That's not haunting your dreams scary. I don't remember writing this. I don't remember getting up to write this. But there she is. Anyway. Skinwalker. David? What do you mean by that, sir? I don't recall learning about a skinwalker ever. So obviously I had to look it up. I don't have I don't know, it's weird. I don't have a history of doing things at night, waking up and doing things in my sleep. But for some reason, I was compelled to write Skinwalker. So naturally, I looked it up. This is the first site that popped up. 14 facts about skinwalkers that will 100% scare the shit out of you. Not 70%, not 80%, not even 90%. 100% is going to scare the poopies and the pee-pees out your buttholes and your pee holes into your pants. 100%. Is a little unnecessary. 100%. How about the just will? This picture at the top is that's a little creepy. If I saw that thing crawling around out in the woods, I'd definitely evacuate my bowels and turn tail. That is for sure. 1. A skinwalker is a person with the ability to transform into any different type of animal at will. They are most frequently seen as coyotes, wolves, foxes, eagles, owls, or crows. Some can also steal the faces of different people and could appear as someone you know. That's a creepy. If you accidentally lock eyes with a skinwalker, they can absorb themselves into your body and take control of your actions. Is that what happened? Did I accidentally look at one last night and become a skinwalker, and then he just made me write skinwalker? Am I going to become a skinwalker? I don't want to be a skinwalker, you guys. You guys, I don't want to be a skinwalker. I want to be Didgeridoo. Rare skinwalkers can also have the ability to enchant the powder of corpses and use the substance as a poison dust on victims. I don't know what the powder of a corpse is. I've never heard of that before in my life. The legend of skinwalkers originates from the Navajo, a southwestern Native American tribe. Ah! Oh, that was 100% scared the shit out of me. That 100% scared the shit out of me. It's the Navajo's legend. 14 facts that will scare the shit out of you. That's not scary. That's just normal fact. That's just a straight up normal fact. Skinwalkers have only entered the public discourse relatively recently compared to other phenomenon. In 1996, a team of scientists ventured to a Utah ranch to investigate a series of bizarre phenomenon. Okay. They have a video here. Let's see. Let's see if we can get a. Let's see if we can. We can get a scary. Some scientists in a forest. So they were filming. It's like Blair Witch. This is like a Blair Witch situation. They're out in a forest. This is a handheld camera of some sort. Dude, bro, fuck this. We need to go, man. These scientists out in the forest. They scared. These scientists are scared. As you can tell. Oh shit, fuck, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro. So they heard like an elephant or something tooting its horn in the forest, and they're running. Is that it? We need to go. So this goes on for like 4 minutes. I don't know.
I swear I heard a voice. Oh no, but why do we even do that?
Why'd we even do that? Oh my god, this is so fake. That's so fake. Dude, fuck no. Oh my god. Whoa. Oh, dude, I think I heard a voice. Why'd we even do that? Whoa. Fake. It's fake. What you doing out there, scientists, out in the middle of the forest at the middle of the night? Crazies. If their other powers weren't enough, skinwalkers are also said to be able to run incredibly long distances. Some say over 200 miles in one evening. Some people say that. 200 miles in one evening, some people say. What did they do? Follow him? Drive next to him for 200 miles? How do they know it's 200 miles? You had to have followed him in one night. You'd think there would be some camera footage of that. Maybe some pictures. Some stills. Skinwalkers have a tendency to hang around graveyards and can dig up graves at an impossibly fast speed. I'm sure some random people say. While they can take many forms, many people who see them today describe them as hollowed-out, dog-like animals. Skinwalkers are said to recruit more skinwalkers themselves. There is some dispute in how this happens, but some say that there is an official ceremony and that skinwalkers only take their form with a gathering of people and specific chance. Some people say it. It must be true. They're just guessing. Yeah, they just get together and, they have a ceremony and just a bunch of skinwalkers chanting. I've seen it. With all of their advantages, it is said that you can kill a skinwalker if you call them by their true human name. Hey, Carl, stop it, Carl. Get out of here, Carl. I know what you're doing. How do you know? How would you know? You're just out in the forest and you see some random fucking guy. How do you know? It's just some random person. You just start yelling. John, Jacob, Jingleheimer, Jeffrey, Eric, Emmanuel, Frederick, Dougie. Just yelling a bunch of random names out. Please die. They're probably going to get you. And the time it takes you to list out every random name that you can think of, they're probably going to get you. You're probably going to skinwalker it up right with them. In the Navajo language, the word skinwalker is Yinangloshi, which is that's not. I don't know why I decided to go Chinese with that. Yinangloshi and translates to he who walks on all fours, which is kind of creepy. Walking around on all fours like a creep. I used to know a guy who walked around on all fours. Call him Horsey Ted. Hey Ted, why are you walking around on all fours, man? Just get up on your 2 feet like a normal guy. Like, no, it's alright, I'm cool down here. See you guys later. And then he'd neigh and run away. Horsey Ted was weird. So anyway, I don't know. It's weird. I hope that I don't continue doing that. I hope this is not a trend for me. Waking up, writing cryptic fucking words in my dream journal. And then find it the next day and then go into the study of freaky Navajo legends. It's weird, man. Weird. See, everything's just been weird and awkward. Work has been awkward. I've been awkward at work. I feel like my brain isn't working the way that I want it to work. I'm not like going 100% up there. I've had a lot of conversations that are just like, I'm not saying the shit that I'm wanting to say the correct way. I'm not dealing with people the way that I feel I should be. Been making a lot of weird eye contact with people. I have, that reflex that you get if you make eye contact with somebody to quickly look away from them and kind of look around and just pretend that you were looking, in the general vicinity. I wasn't just looking at you, I was looking around. And we just happened to meet eyes for a second. I've like lost that reflex, and so now I'm just staring. I'll like lock eyes with someone and I'll be like, I'll look at them for a second and then realize that I'm looking at them and look away. It's just weird. I'm making people feel uncomfortable in the restaurant. I was watching this dude the other day eating. He was just this giant of a man, and he was eating a salad, and he's just stuffing leafy greens in there and nomming away at him like a turtle, or like a stegosaurus. You know, I had the full jaw movement, the circular jaw moving like a turtle. And just shit falling out of his mouth. I was so fascinated by it. I was like, there's actually a person doing it. And there's a person with him. There's a person actually eating across the table from this guy. Wonder if she notices. And then just snapped his neck up like a lizard. Zoop! Looked right at me. I was compelled to wave. I didn't, but I should have. Hi. Hey, buddy. People are a mess. Grown-ass adults. I mean, I've seen plenty of tables working in the restaurant. I've seen plenty of tables that people have gotten up and left, and I'm just like, how are you? How is this? How have you done this? How have you achieved this level of dishevelry? There's just shit everywhere. It's like they just threw a food party. They had a little food fight at their table with each other. I'm just like, how can you not keep that shit just in your mouth? Like, it's all over their seats. It's all under the table. They take the drink menus, they read them, and then they just toss them, I guess. The lack of respect, I'm telling you what. Ridiculous. The other day I'm walking down and we have a bar at my restaurant, and there was an old coworker sitting there. And we worked together, whatever, for a couple months. I never really knew her that well. I'm not into saying what up to old coworkers. If I didn't know you super awesomely, then why do I don't have a need to talk to you. I'm not gonna go, oh hey, what's up? Like, how you doing? Still doing nothing? Great. Me too. All right, see you later. There's no need for that. I don't give a shit what you're doing. You don't give a shit what I'm doing. So why even pretend? Why play this game? But we made eye contact with each other. There's like a wall right behind the bar. Bar's here, wall behind the bar. I peeped out from behind the wall. We made eye contact, and she did like the eyebrows up nod, like, what's up? And started to wave. And as soon as she started waving, I just zooped back behind the wall. Boy, I bet she felt stupid. Waving at nobody like that. And I felt bad, and I felt stupid and ashamed. I was like, fuck. She's trying to say what up, and I just bounced out of there. I got all flushed and red and felt embarrassed. And I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back to that spot. That spot was off limits to me for the rest of the night. I could not return without feeling shame. And then it ate at me. It ate at me for the rest of the night. You know, hours later. I even remember thinking when I got home, I was like, we're Facebook friends, and I was like, maybe I'll message her and just be like, hey, so that was awkward, haha, right? Saw you at the thing and didn't wave, and but anyway, hope you're doing well. Like, what? No, don't do that, David. He's silly. That's so silly. Don't do that. I thought better of it. I didn't do it, but still, it was like a thing that was in my brain and got at me. What else? Awkward stuff. More awkward stuff. It's just been happening over and over. Oh. This was a coworker. A coworker and I were standing up at the front of the restaurant, and a lady had walked in to go meet some people at a table. She had some friends there she was meeting, and she was an older woman, probably knocking on 60. And she walks in, just messy blonde, short hair, big old bifocals, with the big bug eyes. She's wearing red overalls and just this baggy ass Minnie Mouse T-shirt. She's not looking too not looking too with it. And she walks by me and a coworker, and my coworker, I hear audibly goes, "Ee." Like, as she's walking by us, she looked at us. Oh, just the ooh out loud as this lady walks by. You can't do that. It's not nice. I'm not sure if she noticed. She may not have noticed. But have you ever done that? Just saw someone that looks real just janky, and you make a face. You make a face or a sound at them. And God forbid they make eye contact with you, and then you just kind of have to pretend like, oh, it's just my tummy. Got some gas. It's not your ugliness that's getting me. It's this unruly gas in my tummy. That was funny. Just eat right in her face. I was moving about the restaurant and trying to get to a table to clean it, and there was a kid, probably like 18 years old, a teenager, upper teens, and he was scooted back from the table in his chair, and he's just like leaning, he's just making himself at home, just spread the fuck out in the aisle. Which, by the way, don't do that. If you're eating at a restaurant, people need to get through there. We've got jobs to do. We're carrying heavy shit. We don't want to be tripping over you. But he was just out there, man, spreading the egg, and I had to get by him, and I'm trying to squeeze by, and I kind of give him a little shove on the back of the chair, and I say, "Excuse me, son." Ow, what is that? Excuse me, son. Like I'm a grandfather. Like I'm an elderly man. I meant it as in like son, like what up, son? Like a millennial, like a millennial shit. I was trying to be cool. Excuse me, son, but it just came out. Excuse me, son. Why? I didn't even mean to say that. Why'd my brain go there? Why'd my brain go to son? Anyway, don't lean all up out in the shit. It's a restaurant. Be respectful. I know they say the customer's always right, but you know what? You're not. A lot of the times you're not. Okay? We have in the back, like back where servers get drinks, and we make our sets, and the computers and stuff are. Back there we have this like laminated piece of paper, and it's this long quote about like, you must always respect the customer, for the customer is the reason we are here, and we are here to serve the customer. This is not our domain, but theirs. And the customer does not rely on us, but yet we rely on our customer, and all this blah 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 bullshit, like corporate stuff. And then at the end, it says dash Gandhi. I'm like, I'm not too sure Gandhi was. I'm not sure that's what Gandhi was rapping about. I'm pretty sure you could just say any old thing and then attribute it to Gandhi, and people would be like, "Yeah, Gandhi, right? He said that for sure." Don't eat cheese before noon, Gandhi. Yeah, all right, I won't. Always look left and right before crossing the street, Gandhi. Yeah, he probably said that. That makes sense. Yeah, so, also just the other night, I'm out on my back porch. I let my dog out, and he's out there doing his business in the backyard. I'm just out there getting some fresh air. It's nighttime. It's dark, um, and I see this bright light up in the sky. It's not moving. It's just chilling there, but it's pretty bright. I was like, I wonder if that's a planet. So I start to download that Google Sky app or whatever, the one that shows you like where's what, like the constellations and whatnot, what have you. So I start to download it because I want to figure out what that is. It's super bright. I'm just like looking at it. It's getting brighter. I'm like, it's probably just a plane, but it wasn't moving. It was just still in the sky. I was like, well, maybe it's coming at me or something. I don't know. So the app gets done. I'm opening it and I look back up, and the thing gets real bright and then just vertically falls from the sky. Like, gets brighter and then just goes, whoop, drops down and fades out of existence. What moves like that? Nothing. If that was a plane, it wouldn't have just got it. It wouldn't have, that's not a plane, dude. That was not a plane. There was no explanation for that at all. I have no explanation for it. I just chalked it up to, okay, that's a thing. That happened. You know? Okay, that's just a weird thing that I saw, I guess. Fucking UFO, probably. And I've seen shit like that before. Just like inexplicable shit, like lights. I was driving from Portland. This is like 10 years ago. I was driving from Portland down to Eugene to visit some friends who were going to school at the University of Oregon. So I'm driving down. It's nighttime, and I'm driving, and on my right hand side there's just a bunch of lines of like telephone poles, like the big metal ones that are real tall. And so I'm just kind of driving. I'm watching those things fly by, and then from up above my windshield, I see two blue lights drop down like this, just down into my sight, and they stop for a second. And I'm just like, what? What are those? And then they go whoop, and they just take off. And they go upward. They fly forward and upward and off, and they fade out into nothingness. Again, I was just like, what the fuck is that? Like, they drop down first and then just zoom off. Nothing moves like that. Once again, I was just like, I must have been hallucinating. I don't know. That's fucking weird. But then all of these all these Area 51 memes are out now, and I don't know if you've been seeing these fucking pop up. Apparently there's a Facebook group that started, that they're trying to get a bunch of people to bust into Area 51. They're like, you can't stop all of us if we all try and bust in there. So all these memes have popped up. Fucking memes. I don't know how they start or what. I'm not on Reddit or any social media or anything. I mean, I am, but I don't look at it long enough to see what memes are trending, I guess. But yeah, they'll have like a picture of a bike, and it's like me going into Area 51, and then it'll have a picture of the dude from ET riding up, and he's got ET in his bike, and it says me leaving Area 51. That is pretty much what the meme is. It's just a bunch of alien memes. So it's all over the place, and I noticed it, and I noticed also there's this movie on Netflix about this dude named Bob Lazar, who worked at this place that's not necessarily Area 51. I guess it was a couple miles south of Area 51, but it was called S4, and apparently he worked on some fucking spacecraft from outer space, from not our world, not our planet. And you watch this guy talk about this shit, and it is pretty fucking convincing. I don't know. Like, he doesn't seem like a kook. He doesn't seem weird. It doesn't seem like he's lying. He's taken a bunch of polygraph tests, or those, like, the lie detector tests, and he's passed them all with flying colors. And he talks about working on these fucking spaceships. It's insane. He was talking about this reactor that it uses, that the craft that he was working on, which apparently there was 9 spaceships in total that they had at this site, and he only worked on one of them. And he was saying that, like, they showed him, in the middle of this spaceship, there's a reactor, about this big, like the size of a basketball, or half. It's a hemisphere about the size of a basketball. And when it's turned on, you can't touch it. You can't get near it. Your hands, there's like a force field around it. And he was like, that energy doesn't exist, or that whatever that is happening, it was creating gravity, its own gravity, essentially. And he was like, nothing on Earth does that. That technology, whatever that thing that he was messing with, was not from this world, because we don't have it on this world. We don't have that capability. So that's fucking nuts if you believe what he's saying. And you know what? I fucking do. I don't know. He seemed legit. So you know what that means. That is other life. There is other life. I always kind of figured there was. The universe is big. We can't be the only ones here, right? But I mean, that's crazy. That I don't know, that means that there fucking is. And he was saying there's like little seats in this spacecraft. They had little chairs, and they were like little chairs. So they were tiny aliens, little bitty aliens. But yeah, I guess how these things flew is they just fuck with gravity. So nothing powers it. There's no, well, I mean, there is a fuel source, which they call element 115, that fuels the thing, but there's no like electricity. There's no wires or anything. They just have these little like gravity emitters, and essentially it fucks with the gravity around it and bends the gravity, and that's how it propels itself. That's fucked. They never figured out how or where the shit came from. This guy, Bob Lazar, likened it to if we today were to put down like a nuclear reactor in front of people 200 years ago, that they wouldn't know what the fuck was going on. The technology is just way over their heads, and they wouldn't know. They might get the thing to work, they might be able to make it function, but they would have no idea how to get it, or like how to rebuild it. So essentially, this dude was trying to figure out how to back engineer this thing, and they couldn't figure out how to do it. Anyway, super interesting. If you want to watch this movie, it's on Netflix. Bob Lazar. He also does he's on Joe Rogan's podcast. It was a pretty recent episode. I'll put some links down below if you want to check it out. Pretty interesting stuff. There are there's other life, man, for sure. And we have crafts. We have fucking crafts. I 100% believe that. So I wanted to introduce a new segment into this show. I want to start doing vocabulary words, because I think it's important for everyone to expand their vocabulary and be a smart. Sound like a smart person. Plus, it's fun to use big words, and you know, feel cool using them. Like the other day I used and nothing too crazy. I'm not gonna be teaching you any crazy words, but just those fringe words that you may have heard before and you just don't quite know the definition of. Like the other day I used the word ancillary, which is, you know, like there's a main character in a movie and then there's ancillary characters. They're just offshoots of a main thing. And sometimes these words come in handy, and you'll pat yourself on the back when you use them, and you'll be real proud of yourself. So I'm gonna throw out some random ones, and maybe I'll even learn something. Let's start with superfluous. superfluous. More than is needed, desired, or required. So, I had Taco Bell the other night. And I tell you what, today it just had a superfluous amount of shit coming out my ass. See how smart I sounded? Superfluous. Too much. Okay, next one. Prosaic. Prosaic. Lacking wit or imagination. So, I've watched plenty of episodes of Splendid, and I just found it to be a bit prosaic. Lacking wit or imagination. And lastly, quixotic. 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 Exceedingly idealistic, unrealistic, and impractical. Impractical. This is supposed to be a smart segment, David. You're tripping over your words. Impractical. Like maybe Splendid was a bit of a quixotic endeavor. But it's not, though. Anyway, vocab words. Boink, bink, bonk. You're welcome. Be smarter for it. Try and remember one of those and use them in a sentence. And let me know how it went. I was thinking back on had a random memory. You know how those happen? Random memories occurring. I tried to hide this, I guess. I tried to stash it in the hidden folder in my brain. but it just it was just a funny memory. When I was in high school, I was in a health class, and it was my junior year of high school, and I was in this health class, and I don't know, it was just one of those electives that you had to take. It's kind of like home ec a little bit, you know. It's like you got all the sex education, and like learned how to bake and do all that shit. Nothing about taxes. Didn't show me how to balance a checkbook or do my taxes or nothing, but they showed me how to put a condom on. Tell you what. So anyway, we have these textbooks, and they had a bunch of romantic-y pictures in there of like couples holding hands or looking lovingly into each other's eyes. And me being a silly child, I started to deface the book. I've got a doodling problem. I've always had a doodling problem where if there's paper in front of me, I'm gonna be drawing shit all over it. I used to do it on papers and stuff that I would turn in. There would be fucking doodles all over the papers, and I would get, they would lower my grades on these things because they're like, well, thanks for the paper, but you've got doodles all over them. Which, shame on you, school system, for not allowing my creative juices to flow. They should have been pushing me into art classes and art classes only. We should have done it like the Europeans do it, and you figure out what you want to do by the time you're in like middle school, and then you just take those classes. Why are you shoving me into math? I'm not going to be doing math ever. Why am I taking French? I took 7 years of French. For what? So I can order a Coke at a French restaurant somewhere, which probably just has a bunch of English-speaking people there. J'ai besoin d'une coca, s'il vous plaît. That's like all I got from 7 years of that fucking class. Math, show me how to add things. Show me how to subtract. Basic multiplication, and I'm done. That's all I need. That's all anyone needs. If someone shows some proclivity for something, shove them off into that direction. Anyway, so I'm a doodler, and I was doodling all over this book, right? Defacing it, defiling it. And when you get egged on by your friends, you're gonna push it a little bit farther than you would, I guess, just by your lonesome. So I'm drawing dicks on the dudes, and I'm drawing huge raging boners, and like the girls have cum on their face, and there's cum flying everywhere, and they're giving handies. I was just drawing all sorts of situations, and then a fucking senior who was behind me yells at the teacher and goes, hey teach, Dave's drawing in the book. You fucking asshole, you fucking tattletale piece of shit. I bet you bit kids in kindergarten. I bet you were that fucking biter ass motherfucker, that just little tattletale bitch that no one liked. So he tells on me. I slam the book real quick, and it's nothing doing. She kept me after class. And she looked at him. This is pretty embarrassing for me. There are some pretty racy photos. pretty racy depictions in there. And so I felt, obviously, ashamed. She sends me to the office, and I've got to go into the vice principal's office, and she has the book, and she's looking at him. These are both women, by the way. Awesome. Just make me feel even worse. and she was making photocopies of the pictures. And I was like, that's a little bit. You don't need to do that. That's a bit much. A bit superfluous, if you ask me. She's making photocopies. She sits down. She's like, all right, I'm going to call your parents. Do you want me to call, or what was it? She was like, I'm going to call your mom or your dad. Who should I call? And I was like, Dad, please. Dad, good. I don't want my mom hearing about this shit. So she calls my dad. She's got him on speakerphone. And this is so awkward for me to just be sitting there as she's like, yeah, hi, Mr. Cracksburger. So your son drew some pretty graphic images in a book. You know, one has a female and her boobs are out. And he drew a hand on a man playing with the nipples of the boobs, and there's a word bubble coming out from her mouth saying, "Oh yeah, do it more," and she's just going into full description. Like I had word bubbles and shit of like, yeah, give me that jizz, like, just really profane stuff. And she was going into full fucking detail to my dad about all the pictures. I'm just sitting there like, eee. I don't recall getting into too much trouble for this, which is cool. Thanks, parents. But I had a choice. The school was going to reprimand me somehow, of course. I had to pay for the book, or I guess I should say my parents had to pay for the book. And I had a choice between forfeiting like a month of my tennis season, because I played tennis in high school. I was a captain of the tennis team, kind of a big deal. So I could either forfeit a month of tennis or not go to the junior prom. And I chose to not go to prom. Because, I gotta play my tennis. And I had a girlfriend at the time who was obviously probably super thrilled with me. Because, you know, I had to tell her. Yeah, so, sorry, babe, but we can't go to prom because I drew some lewd photos in the health book. None to plays, I think. And then I remember like one of my best friends asked her to prom. What the fuck, buddy? Not cool. I mean, I was like, yeah, go for it. But thinking back on it now, what the fuck, man? What type of friend does that? He didn't even ask me first. He just asked her, and then she asked me if it was cool that my good friend take her to prom. I was like, yeah, sure. Weird. So anyway, don't go drawing lewd photos in books lest you want to be shamed in front of your parents. That was ridiculous. Kids, man, again, just crazy kids doing crazy shit, and you gotta learn from it. Yeah, all right. That's it for me. That's all I've got. Hopefully this all made sense to you. Hopefully I haven't just been blah, 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 blahing about. Because that's how I feel. All wacky in the brain. Feel all wacky up here. So I hope that this podcast was at least a little bit cohesive. And I should be better in a couple weeks once Mercury rights itself. Fucking Mercury. So yeah, anyway, thanks to y'all for listening. again, make sure to share, subscribe, all that stuff. I really do appreciate it. Give me feedback. Let me know what I can do to improve and better your experience. Let me know if you were like, hey, those fucking vocab words were shit. I gained nothing from that. You should drop that. Let me know. But I have a feeling you're going to really thank me later for these vocab words. You're going to be describing your superfluous diarrhea in no time. So anyway, thank you all again for listening, and I will see you on the next one.